Alright guys, here we're going to talk about Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. 2000's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Lee, had you seen it before?
Maybe parts of it, I think, but never like a dedicated sit down and watch the whole thing.
I did not see this theatrically, although it was in the pocket where you'd think I would have. But yeah, through just TV, you know, on in the store, in the background during the holidays, whatever, have seen it many a time. There's a few really funny things in this movie.
I think I had heard people say it's horrible, don't watch it, it's bad or something. And having watched it now, I don't think that's necessarily true. It's definitely too long, I want to say.
It is a long movie. At an hour 45, it feels like 2.5 hours.
Felt like days.
Yeah, but again, there's some pockets of treasure here.
No,
like where you would watch this as like an adult with your kids and be like, wait a minute, what the fuck is that?
No,
like,
I was pleasantly surprised several times, just that the overall distance between those times was a little whatever. But I think I didn't go back and watch the original, the animated thing that we all know and love from like, I don't know, 1910, whenever they made that one. But
68 maybe?
I haven't like contrasted and compared to this one, but I assume some of this is like adding extra layers or whatever. And I was like, ooh, I like some of the stuff that they've done here with the Grinch Man.
Yeah, no, and they make a world here. Seeing all that stuff in reality versus just the cartoon, drawing of it is freakish and awesome. There's a lot to this that you wouldn't expect people to do. Ron Howard, kicked it up a notch for this one.
I think it's a successful translation from that impossible animation style into like reality. To say nothing else. So I don't know why people crapped on it so much, because it seems like fine, I guess.
I think if you're a kid, this is fantastic. And if you're an adult watching this with a kid, you're not bored and like, this sucks. I don't know that it's made for adults to watch on the first time without any nostalgia going into it, but you totally could.
I thought you were going to say adults on the first date. I was going to be like, no.
No, perfect date movie, because you don't have to pay attention that much.
And then you know if she's cool or not.
All right, guys, if you've seen it or don't care, falls over to spoilers, and if not, pull out now.
If you need a place to rent content, you better listen. We're Cannibal Video and we eat the competition.
Alright guys, here we are for the spoilers of The Grinch. What the fuck did you think about this?
I liked it. I don't remember what's in The Grinch though, the cartoon and everything. I remember him stealing Christmas and the little one comes down and he's like, oh, I can't believe they're so happy even though I stole their Christmas. That's the same. But I don't think that they were like shopping.
Merry Christmas! Thank you for shopping for me. Wait a second! Don't forget your change!
I don't think,
no, there was no commercialism, there was no bullshit. It was just pretty much the song, learning about the Grinch, and then them just naturally singing. There was no inviting him to a thing, there was none of that bullshit.
There's a lot of back and forth here. It's very interesting. But
they had to make it into a movie.
Yes, and I like that they during this movie I was like, oh, the Grinch is Shrek now. And then I'm like, wait, he's Frankenstein. Shrek is Frankenstein. Oh my god. I had this weird
hot takes.
It's like this crazy journey that I went on. Because he lives out of town and he knows about them, though he hates them. And he eats their garbage. He literally is living off of their waste, and he hates them for throwing away perfectly good things and whatever he says.
Well, that also is a commentary on our society.
Yeah, it's like commercialism, but also that wastefulness that he's whatever, and he has his and he loves trash. He makes the trash angel for the tree.
This will be perfect on the top of a tree. Oh, Martha. Oh, Christmas. Everything you've been dreaming of.
And that sets up how later he makes his terror sleigh thing out of trash. He's just, oh, I'm gonna make some trash into a thing, and then fire's coming out. It's a real thing. It's what is happening?
He's an odd character where it's a combination of you see him grow up. So as a baby, you're like, oh, that's kind of cute. As a child, he's horribly fucking terrifying.
Absolutely.
And then as Jim Carrey, you're like, wow, there's a lot of movement. Because Jim Carrey is a rubber-faced fucking weirdo.
Clint Eastwood.
He has movability of his face that you're like, are you an X-Files villain? How are you doing these things? And that expressiveness is shown through in this makeup, which it's a lot of prosthetics across most of the characters in this movie, him the most, obviously. But it is so expressive.
He's able to act through the prosthesis and stuff, which I compare this role kind of to the Robin Williams as Genie in Aladdin.
I'm history. No, I'm mythology. Nah, I don't care what I am. I'm free.
Okay.
where they get this comedian who's very like big, and they put them in a role where they're like, just do like your thing.
Be you.
But like Robin Williams was just in like a booth until his sweat like fogged up the glass of the booth and just going crazy forever, and they just cut out some parts to use or whatever. This guy had to like sit in makeup for hours and become the Grinch, and then walk around like
uncomfortable makeup
and do all these things and physically act. His entire body is involved.
Full contacts. Yeah. None of his body is shown.
Well, that worked out nicely.
Okay, yes.
Because I believe even his teeth are coated. Like, there's nothing on this man that's not 100% fucked.
Bleeding hearts of the world unite!
Very, very impressive that it's even made, and so weird that you would go in this like it's a kind of a character that's not attractive at all, but it's interesting that they didn't try to make it into something cuter than it was. They leaned into that. Like, it's not just how he acts, it's who he is. Like, just eating fucking glass and doing his shit. This is the movie that makes Clint Howard look the best he's ever looked.
A handsome nobleman.
Yes, it does.
And is that not strange? A man in full horrifying prosthetics looks the best he's ever looked since I don't know, the Andy Griffith Show. Like,
and like the people look a little like that Twilight Zone episode where everyone's ugly and weird looking. And yes, that kind of smooths everything out so that Clint Howard's visage is now reduced to like, he's good.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, let him shine as an actor too. Where like it's like, he didn't just get this role because he looks like kind of a weird guy. He's not the ice cream man. He's just like an actor.
He doesn't just he doesn't just know the director.
He's pretty good.
Yes.
Well, yes, having a brother be the director certainly didn't hurt. But what I mean is, it didn't feel like horrible nepotism because he was competent.
Yeah.
He held his own.
No, when he sympathetically shaves his head.
Yes.
Do something.
Right.
After the after the mayor gets his head shaved, where you're like, he's like, I'll solve the problem like this, and he does it to himself, and you're like, that's so, God, come on, yes.
There's a lot of ridiculous stuff in this though that are like completely for adults, and you're like, wait a minute.
You are about to mention the key party.
Yes, I am.
The famous key party.
Like,
it's literally ludicrous. A key party.
It is. That is exactly what it is.
And they're too occupied with their hoodoo diddling, whatever, to like, notice the new Grinch is there. Yeah.
It was morning before anybody realized that he was out there. The poor dear.
It would have been something maybe nice if them not noticing him, like if he would have been a normal baby but being out in the cold over the night, or like the who air, or like something did it to him.
So he's all green the way Loki is a frost giant and he's all blue. See, it's all just Shakespeare. Absolutely.
There could have been an extra layer to that.
I think that we're meant to interpret a part of his crankiness to be from his like neglect that started on day one.
I would say yes, but on his way down, he killed a baby. So like it wasn't a nature versus nurture thing. He was a horrible chud the whole time.
Well, he like replaced that baby the same way those birds that lay the eggs in like the other bird's nest.
Oh, did you take that as that?
Yeah, I took it like this is a predatory species attacking the Who's. Yeah.
So I just thought that he was taking a shot because like so many babies were coming down, and there's not another species of Grinchy characters. In fact, his name is Grinch. Like they named him that.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
Like Grendel in Beowulf.
Yeah.
You see?
I do like how they, Cindy Lou Who does not have any prosthetics on her.
Doesn't it seem superfluous?
And you get even at one point a person saying like, I shouldn't even grow into her nose yet. And I'm like, I like that. It's the opposite. Where like a child would normally have like a big stupid nose. And you're like, they'll grow into it. This is like, your face has to get bigger and your stupid nose will stay the same size.
A little not to be taken seriously girl who hasn't even grown into her nose yet.
They did that because they didn't want to put all these kids in these horrible prosthetics. Yeah. Because they show the classroom, and as they pan across, they all just look like kids. Yeah. And I was like, I've been ripped off. These aren't Who's. These are just kids. Yeah. What are you doing? Yeah.
Because it would have been hard. Like, hey, you want to breathe? Fuck off.
I'm not doing that.
No.
I'm a famous child actress, Cindy Lou Who.
Except for the one poor bastard who's the Grinch, who's like, okay, you're going to get a lot.
That's Jim Carrey.
The baby.
I'm joking. That it's still it's.
Yeah, he's a great actor.
It's like Giambi. It's just his head stuck on there, but it's still Jim Carrey.
It almost has a vibe like that.
It might be. I didn't check.
Weird.
Okay.
What a lovely family heirloom!
Yeah.
It is so weird. Because seeing his little body move is what makes it so creepish, because his head is big.
Yes.
Because to put a prosthetic on a child whose head is small, it already is going to build up a certain amount of size, and it's weird teeth. It's very, very, very off-putting.
We do see as a baby though he's already eating ceramics and everything.
Yeah.
Right? So he definitely has that.
And can speak.
But later, when he's eating the like glass bottles, I took that to be like him getting drunk, kind of. Like he's eating the. Am I just eating because I'm bored? Like he's like depressed.
Am I just eating because I'm bored?
Oh yeah.
He uses hammers and symbols and like contraptions to like blot out the feelings that he's feeling in himself and all that stuff. This is a deep text of a Grinch's torment.
How to take care of those pesky memories.
Here in his lair and everything. I don't think that's in the original, right? There's no hint that he's like dealing with a problem here, right?
I think that there is bits of him not liking the singing that comes from them.
Yeah.
And I haven't watched that one since, I think, TV days, which goes to show you, because TV
I haven't
is
watched
dead.
it either. Yeah, exactly.
I recently watched Grinch Night, though, and so I'm familiar with some Grinchy stuff.
I meant to go back and watch the original to like contrast and compare, but I didn't get a chance to do that. I would have been like a Grinch expert now, but I liked it as a kid.
Yeah, James Earl Jones singing the song. Jim Carrey, no substitute, singing the song himself. And this one, it actually feels kind of weird having the Grinch sing his own Grinchy song.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are a heel.
Oh, you're a mean one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like certain lines make sense, but other ones you're like, that feels kind of strange singing about yourself.
Yeah. I liked the overall rhyming and the jauntiness of it, though. I like when a character says something that rhymes with what the narrator said. Where it's like, and he didn't know just what to do, and then he says like blah 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 too, and you do a thing where like, oh, it's
good
nice.
writing is always appreciated.
He snarled with a sneer. Tomorrow is Christmas. It's practically here.
My favorite thing that could have been done, but I think is so brilliant, is when he's talking to his own echo because he's lonely, and he's like, "You're an idiot," and he goes, "I'm an idiot. You're an idiot," and he's like, "I'm gonna whisper so that you can't hear me," and it can't bounce back. "You're an idiot." Yeah. that might be the best joke in the movie.
No, that's pretty good.
Reverberates off the walls and gets back to me. I won't be able to hear it.
So unexpected, and it so plays off the whole like you are expecting specific things to happen, not that, and then that happens, right?
Yeah.
It's very good. I also liked how when his heart grows at the end, they go like thump thump, and he's like ah, like screaming in agony.
Oh, that's body horror. Think about that.
It is literally a body horror. This is like in like a medical show where like like the person who's going to be the patient collapses before like House shows up. He's literally writhing around on the ground, clutching his chest like no.
Because what is in the story? His heart grew 8 sizes that day. Imagine, if you will, you're like, especially the X-ray we see of his heart, where it's like this little claymation-looking thing, which is a cool visual.
Yeah.
But yeah, imagine that growing. Your like ribs would break apart. Like,
listen, I'm not saying it's not realistic. I'm just saying that is completely batshit insane compared to like they just show the X-ray again. It's like bring, and then he smiles like I'm nice now. This is like it's like.
I think it's actually a really welcome thing because it's
great.
It's kind of clever.
No, it's awesome. That's awesome and adds such a strange amount of drama. Sometimes Jim Carrey's just freaking out for no reason though. Maybe maybe you can shed some light on this for me. There's a point where we do the old thing where he gets changed, where he goes behind like a thing and you just see his shadow.
Yeah.
And then he comes out, wearing his robe, like, hello. But in the middle, he goes, ah! And just like freaks out. And it seemed like for no reason.
He said something there too that I didn't catch. Did you catch what he said?
Oh, so it might be related to like the pain of whatever he just said.
At least I scared the bejeebers out of that little girl at the post office. She'll be scarred for life if we're lucky.
Where he's like, she'll never love me.
Yeah, something like that.
But he's just like screaming, and like I took it to be this like meta joke of like normally, oh, like you're only seeing his shadow because he's naked, so they'll do something funny. That's like, what's that a shadow of? And here it's just him screaming in terror, and I was like, what is happening?
It looked like there was some interesting thing happening behind the curtain, and then he comes out wearing like almost like a negligee type of a robe. You're like, what the hell's that?
He was looking like Hugh Hefner at one point.
Funny she didn't rat on us, though. Must be afraid of reprisals.
Later, he has lederhosen and stuff. There's a lot of costuming.
I like the lederhosen. Yeah. I think it's strange because it almost looks Christmassy, and I'm like, I don't think he would own things that are almost Christmassy.
Well, he stole it from that mountain man.
But even stealing it, like you think he would wear those things? Like it feels like
I'm going to a party. What will I wear?
Yeah, what will I wear?
What would I wear?
I think him rationalizing how he can't go to the party and talking to himself and everything. Because I'm a loner, and I talk to myself in my lair. I can relate to this man. To this Grinchy man.
I talk to things that fall, I think, the most. How dare you, you bitch.
Why are you on the ground now?
Oh, no, it's never a nice tone.
Hello!
I'm cursing them, I'm yelling, how dare you.
That's usually how people treat things that they trip over. They go like...
Oh, yeah, I beat those things.
You turn around, you bastard!
You fucking bitch.
Get out of here!
I hate you. Hate, 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 hate. Double hate.
Loathe entirely.
I like the idea that he was raised by who's, by people and stuff like that.
Is that addressed in the original at all?
No, I don't think so.
It's just, so he's just like an out-of-towner that ruins Christmas?
I think he is, like in the Who world, in the Dr. Seussian land, there's so many creatures and animals and weird things, and I always took it as he is just one of those things.
She'll be on me like fleagle flies on a flat-faced flugal horse.
Right.
But in this gives him a backstory that he is a Who of sorts. He's a what. It would be nice if there was a race of whats, and at the end, like we saw, like him, if there was like a bunch of curmudgeons underground or something.
Grinch too.
Yeah.
Where he's like the ambassador. No, it's not that bad. Has to do a whole thing.
Yeah. But I think it's funny when they come to get him, like, oh, we've missed you. You two are still alive, or you're living. Like,
are you two still living?
We missed you.
Like I was like, oh man, and it is a little strange because how old is the Grinch? He's like a creature of story, it seems, but really it's like, oh, we all went to school with him. We know him. He's actually like what? How epic can you be if like I was in kindergarten with that kid?
No, well, because the new generation fears him, and they go into the woods, and they're like, "You think there's a Grinch out here? No, shut up! I'm not scared of no Grinch." And then it's a stupid. It's very Shrek-like.
I think we should go back.
What? You're scared of the Grinch?
No. But the way that they approach it, where even the mayor like, oh, we don't talk about that, like it's fake. And then when you then have these flashbacks, you're like, it's so real. You bullied him. What do you mean?
You were there.
You don't have a chance with her. You're 8 years old and you have a beard.
You have hair. Not pleasant.
Exactly. Yeah. I guess we should go into that because we talked about the Grinch being the kid and everything, but the Grinch has a love interest here.
Yeah.
He has and like, do they say that she never married? There's like
she didn't marry. She gets proposed to by the mayor.
Martha May, please become Mrs. Augustus Mayhew.
In this, why not if she was divorced or a widow?
I don't know.
Which would be totally appropriate in this thing. No, like there's like 10 comedians in here. I forget all their names.
She's the friend on Sybil, right?
She's in everything. I don't know her name, and I should. I feel bad actually, because I know like Molly Shannon's in here. We talked about Clinton Howard and like a few other people. But like
the development guy is the mayor.
I was gonna say like there's people I know them from here. I know them from there. I think his parents, one of them is somebody too. Whatever. But no, she's great. She's awesome. She's like Morticia Adams and is like living around, and then
she's a weird mix where like the makeup makes her like horrific, like horrific in a way.
Your ring back. Sorry, but my heart belongs to someone else.
And clearly also sex.
Yeah, you're like, okay, that's an attractive lady. Underneath that, I'm fairly confident based on what I'm seeing. But like they did something to her lips, and in addition to her nose, like she looks like weird.
The muscles.
I love her with that fucking Gatling gun of fucking lights. That's brilliant.
Right, the competition over the Christmas decorations, and poor what's her name is like, this year's gonna be different. Yeah.
She steals a fucking traffic light at one time.
Look, I just found the cutest light for my Christmas display. Hurry up, we're gonna be late. Come on.
It's like, oh, let's go.
Lights from anywhere, Stephen. Yeah. Exactly. No, but it's good because do they end up together? They end up kissing, I think?
Yeah, they end up together.
It's like a real thing.
There's nothing like the holidays. Who wants the gizzard? I do.
That's dope. Happy ending for the Grinch.
A sequel could have been nice here.
It's a
where you have
happier ending.
half-breed who's they're little noses but with green hair, but like not like all over their bodies. Like
so like 14th Shrek reference. Have some of them be like full Grinch and some of them be full Who. Okay. Some of them twisted half-breeds that will never be accepted by either group. Yeah, it's perfect.
I'd be down. And they honestly could do that. Yeah. Like tomorrow, because it's all prosthetics. Jim Carrey could be 103 and still do this. Absolutely. It'll be CG anyway, so it won't matter.
At this point, there's enough Jim Carrey that can just program an AI to do his shtick, and it will just happen.
Run for your life before I kill again!
Another great adult joke in this is like, our baby arrived. It looks just like your boss.
Hey, honey, our baby's here! He looks just like your boss.
Since you mentioned that part, like that's during some story time where they're telling Cindy Lou Who like some stuff that happened. And then when they talk about one of the things with like the babies just falling out of the sky, it cuts back and she's like, so that's how that happens. Because she like doesn't know where babies come from and stuff.
Oh, so that's how it works.
Well, and I wonder if that was part of the story for her benefit, or if that is, because these are fictitious, weird fucking races of things. And the idea that during her story, like they would have explained, and the baby Grinch on his little flying thing knocked another baby, and I think we're seeing what actually happened. Like it's an actual flashback to the day, but it could be a perverted like memory of what they're saying, or bastardized for the child's benefit, because you can't say we had key parties, kiddo.
It was a key party, and the Grinch showed up, and we all fucked him. We don't know who the dad is. Yeah, we don't know who the whatever. Yeah, exactly.
And if the truth be told, he liked Martha. Martha was my girlfriend.
There's a throwaway joke in this that like might even top the "you're an idiot" joke for me. Like they're celebrating him as like the king of Christmas, and he's doing this thing, and there's a pudding eating like judging contest thing.
You'll enjoy this.
And one guy goes, "This isn't pudding," and shoves it in his mouth, and Jim Carrey's like, "What is it?" And then it cuts away.
This is not pudding.
What is it?
Just like this isn't pudding.
This isn't pudding.
Puts it in his mouth. What is it? His mouth is fucking like full of, because they're just shoving food upon food in his face, like all the foods. There's like, what is it? Like a cake contest, like.
Mine are homemade too.
Come on! Is that all you got? Is that all you got?
Yeah,
fruitcake,
multiple
fudge,
things.
pudding, and like they're fattening him up.
And then at the end he's like, and he's like,
he expected a vomit, and I don't know if I'm impressed that they were able to restrain themselves, or if I'm a little disappointed that they didn't give a nice like gackish Nickelodeon style vomit.
Yeah, I think overall,
like into the mayor's face, obviously.
Of course, I think restrained is probably a word that I would count against this like negative criticism for the movie, because Jim Carrey is so he's unstoppable.
Yes.
But I feel like he was sort of tamped down a little and smoothed out a little for this almost, because there's enough cool things, but overall it does feel like we don't get certain things like that where you're like, can you believe this happened? Like the whole thing with like the shaving and the laughing and
Probably because he's embarrassed by that idiot or his gift.
Mr. Grinch, please take the bag off.
Yeah.
stuff. There's all these.
What a hack job!
Look at that hack job!
Yeah, there's all these things in there. They're fine, but
I
you
bet
could
there's some
imagine,
crazy
like,
deleted scenes that they could never put on the DVD. Like, can you just picture Jim Carrey going wild?
Exactly.
And then in that costume and shit,
100%.
like, oh man, his like frumped up stomach just like thumping people and stuff. I have to imagine he went off the rails.
No, I'm sure there were incredible jokes and weird references.
There were 30 like Jim Wranglers. Jim, camera over here, Jim.
He's method. He's been the Grinch for over a month.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no.
His eyes don't even work anymore. I don't know how long you can even put those big eye contacts in. I feel like they fuck your eyes up.
I would never put them in, so I have no idea.
I couldn't do it. I can't put in regular contacts, let alone ones that go your full whites. That's absolutely insane. I would need a person like to come in with like, okay, you got the plunger, and like put them in and take them out for me.
I would have to be put to sleep. Not put under anesthesia.
No,
put
like a
to
dog,
sleep.
Yeah.
Before you could put something like that in my eye.
Speaking of dogs, that dog ass kiss thing there, like the mayor's asleep, he's like, oh yeah. Did you ever kiss a man who had a double appendectomy?
Yeah.
What did he have?
My tonsils out twice.
Twice.
Have you ever kissed a man who lost his tonsils twice?
No. Silly. And I'm like, that's a kind of funny idiot joke. And to have a callback did make it actually work for me.
Yeah.
But to him to put his dog's ass into that guy's face, and then like the dog's eyes widen, so I'm like, did he just French kiss a dog's asshole?
But it's an experience that I've always longed for. Kiss me, you fool!
The mayor of Whoville eats ass.
Confirmed. Caught in 4K.
Caught in 4K. Eats ass. And likes dogs.
Invite the Grinch. Destroy Christmas. Invite the Grinch! Destroy Christmas!
There's a part where the Grinch is stealing fucking everything, and you can see into a bubble of someone's dreams. And I'm like, this motherfucker just stole dream apples.
Oh my god, did he?
Yeah.
I didn't catch that. That's great.
He grabs apples out of a person's dream. And that's next level for me.
That's great.
Mentioning callbacks, there's like the cat thing. Like he like sucks the cat up and he like claws his face. And like he opens up a cabinet later and the same cat pops out and gets him again.
The cat made me, that was, no offense to you, but the cat was one of the jokes that I kind of groaned at of like, all right, I'm gonna do the cat.
I was like, okay, because there's not a ton of like just straight slapstick stuff in this.
Yeah.
And like that was one where I was like, okay, a 8-year-old me would have shit his pants on that joke. and like I can appreciate those. Even now, like I'll be like, like stupid jokes.
You shouldn't be shitting your pants at 8.
Oh no.
Oh.
The laughter rockets it out there
Come
like
on.
a fucking RPG. Foom.
RPG, fire and forget. We do it. I agree. Like I liked that sequence because of the big tubes that just like suck everything up. I feel like in the original he was just like throwing the tree up or something. Maybe I made that up. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think he had any mechanisms. I think he just literally was stealing everything.
That's a good word, the mechanism there. Because like in the original you got that sense that he's putting ornaments in there with like pies and stuff. But something about this and it just being a tube, just the brutal sucking motion, just how all of Christmas. And then they're like, don't worry, it's all still here in the sack. And I'm like, yeah, cake is just like shoved into like trees and like everything's together. Like that's not
I think
good
in the
anymore.
first he just had a sack that just kept getting bigger as he stuffed it full, and he was carrying it like the whole time.
The magic sack.
Yeah.
We do that.
It's like, he's like Santa.
Yeah.
So this is a world though that Santa exists, and I wasn't sure what that means, because like we don't see him like kill Santa or like take him out or anything.
Oh God, they show Santa.
Probably lives up there to avoid the taxes.
They show Santa.
Because I was about to say, well, there's references, but they don't know. But no,
like he watches
has like binoculars.
Santa take off.
He's like, Santa's distracted. Let me go steal Christmas. Like that's
what
thing.
I didn't get. So and we didn't like. It wasn't like, okay, I watched him. Okay, he's already hit Whoville. Now I should strike. It was just like, okay, Santa's taking off. So somewhere from where he lives on his mountain can physically just see the North Pole or wherever Santa lives in this world.
Who world is very small.
I guess
There's not much to it. Yes, and they have their own Santa.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's always one Grinch, there's always one Santa. It's folklore.
Fat boy should be finishing up any time now. Talk about a recluse. He only comes out once a year, and he never catches any flack for it.
One more adult thing that just came to me is like they make a racially charged joke where he's like,
listen, having a black who is not racially charged jokes.
He goes to get a taxi and it doesn't stop for him, and he goes, "It's because I'm green, isn't it?"
It's because I'm green.
Yeah.
Taxi! It's because I'm green, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ron Howard, he's putting in some social commentary
over
and over again.
That. It's social commentary.
Yeah.
You got to inject that into. I wonder if anybody talked about this and said that there was like it's too woke or some bullshit.
I don't know. I think this came out early enough that people really weren't even talking about stuff like that.
So like I love that when you can go back in time and be like, this is more. You think this is good, but if this came out now, you'd be like, it's woke or something. Yeah, it's very funny.
There's those little tiny Whos that he like gets in their car.
Evening, folks. Mind if I ride along? You might want to scooch over.
And like in Dr. Seussian things, there are different races and small people and little things like that, but they're the only ones we see in this whole movie. So that struck out as really strange.
They are also Whos, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Okay. But I think that's what it is. If I recall, there are like little doors next to big doors, and there's different types of Whos. And they're not children. They're just I only grow this big.
Like in the original cartoon, I think they like lift something up and there's a little tiny Who in there or something, some weird thing. But again, not a child. Some terrifying little full-grown Who. Yeah.
This jubilation could change my entire outlook on life.
Really?
No.
I don't know when they got me chuckling when he's like, somebody's fabulous. Just how he says it.
Okay.
Like Jim Carrey he can take lines that are not funny and make them funny.
Yeah.
It's the way he says things and manipulates his body and like appendages and things.
Uh-oh. Somebody's fabulous.
The man's not human. He's like a humor god from some other dimension.
No, he's a trickster god made flesh, which is why the mask is his best role. Yeah, that's where he gets to just be himself. I think he adds a lot to this role, obviously, and even like the worst things that I thought worked the least, if they involved him, it like softened the blow of the bad comedy enough that I smiled or chuckled or just was neutral, as opposed to like, this movie sucks, why do you keep making these bad jokes? It was just like, he's a Grinch, folks.
When I think of the Grinch, I picture the cartoon Grinch and him making that smile where it curls up all the way up his face. And at one point, I swear to God, Jim Carrey did that smile.
CG enhanced.
Was it?
Yes.
Was it?
Yes.
Because I don't even assume anything anymore. I'm like, Jim Carrey has muscles that don't make sense. Like seeing his early stand-up where it's like, let me do impressions, and like, he's going to do voices. No, he's doing face impressions.
No, yes, he is a changeling. He is a trickster. It's how it works. Yeah. Comes with the territory, yes.
Hey, him on A Living Color. He was a madman.
Don't you look at me! You're happening. You're out of sight, Daddy-O. You are Stardust. You are Golden.
Oh, yeah, Fire Marshal Bill?
Yeah.
No prosthetics.
There wasn't.
There was flesh like hanging off of him. What do you mean?
No.
He had a ball cap on.
No.
What?
It was all him.
I thought we were going to end on that because we were going to laugh, but you were like, no. What?
All right, guys, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
If you want to support the show, head over to cannibalvideo.com, pick up some merch.
And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's something.
Whatever.
Fuck these motherfuckers.
Just touch the door. Do it for me, Stu.
Cannibal Video has everything you need. A wide array of VHS and DVDs. We ate the competition, now it's only us. Our expert staff opinion